Boys, you know what time it is. It's Alex Pereira Fight Week, baby. Let's go.
Lucas, how excited are you for 307?
Dude, I'm excited. It's a mixed card. Obviously, Pereira, had to come in clutch, save it. And for some reason, we got Wonderboy versus Joaquin Buckley on the prelims. What are we doing here?
Dude, that fight is going to be a banger.
Yeah, striking matchup. Joaquin Buckley's on this massive hype train right now. His last win was in his hometown, St. Louis, over the tallest welterweight who's like 6'4" or something crazy. And, Stephen Thompson obviously has name value.
Exactly. Coming off that loss against Shavkat, but he's looking to rebound and kind of derail this Joaquin Buckley hype train a little bit.
Are there any other matches on this card other than Pereira that you're looking forward to?
I'm honestly looking forward to the whole main card. Is that crazy enough to say? And this Thompson fight. The last 6 fights, the top 6, I am looking forward to all of them.
I think if you would have switched Joaquin Buckley and Stephen Thompson with Jose Aldo and Mario Batista, that would have been the ideal order for me. Because both of them, Stephen Thompson and Joaquin Buckley, are ranked higher than Jose Aldo and Mario Batista. And they're in a higher weight class. So I guess, are they trying to maybe appeal to the Brazilian audience with Jose Aldo on the main card?
Potentially kind of draw them all in. You got Pereira and Aldo. Like all of Brazil's going to be watching on Saturday.
Yeah, that's probably it. Okay, let's get into our predictions. We're going to go over the entire main card. And we're also going to talk about, of course, the featured prelim, which is Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. Stephen Thompson coming in at a plus 162 underdog, ranked number 9. Joaquin Buckley, ranked number 11, minus 188 favorite. Dylan, let's get your predictions.
This was probably the hardest fight that I had to predict for this card because as much as I want to be super confident in Joaquin Buckley to continue this hot streak up against the aging Thompson, it is Stephen Thompson, one of the best strikers in welterweight history. So it's tough, but I did end up going with Joaquin Buckley, and I think he finishes Stephen Thompson in the second round.
Dude, I don't know if I can handle another Stephen Thompson finish. It just sucks seeing him like that.
I don't know, the Shavkat one made me feel good.
Yeah, but Shavkat, and you're expecting that. I went with Buckley. I went with decision. I think Buckley's obviously a very talented striker and also good at wrestling. He has so much explosive power. So my thoughts were he's going to try and hang with Stephen Thompson in the striking and might have some success. But ultimately, he's very good at game planning. We saw that against Nursultan Ruzaboyev, which was his last fight. If you can game plan against a 6'5" giant and out-wrestle him, I think he can do the same to Stephen Thompson. So I think he's going to mix in the wrestling and overall just win probably two or three of the rounds.
Interesting. No finish in a fight that I think could get bloody.
It could, and it could probably be fight of the night too.
Oh, 100%. I would say there's a few fights on this card that have potential to be fight of the night.
Yeah.
And this is definitely one of them.
Yeah. So we both have Buckley. Yours by KO. I'm going by decision. Let's move on to the opener of the main card. We got number 10, Roman Dolidze, taking on Kevin Holland, who is ranked number 15 in the middleweight division, also ranked in welterweight. Roman Dolidze is a plus 140 underdog. Kevin Holland is a minus 170 favorite. This is interesting. Kevin Holland is a much bigger favorite than I would have expected.
Probably because he actually had a proper camp this time.
Yeah.
And a proper camp's 2 months off for him.
Exactly. This dude does not take
He
rest.
didn't step in, so it's a full camp.
But Roman Dolidze just fought as well against Anthony Smith on short
This
notice.
is both of their third fights of the year.
Yeah, and Roman Dolidze, look, he fought up a weight class at 205. I wouldn't say I was impressed with either of them in that fight. It was a very it felt like sparring almost. And so, I don't know. This one was actually probably one of the most difficult ones to pick because Kevin Holland is obviously talented, right? He's talented on the ground and he can strike really well and he's long. But Roman Dolidze is a naturally bigger guy, right?
Yeah.
You're not seeing Kevin Holland go up to 205. He's already going up to middleweight. So for that reason, I picked Roman Dolidze.
Ooh, our first difference of the night. It's Kevin Holland for me. This is very biased, because I think Kevin Holland is a dog. I think everyone loves those BMF guys of the UFC. So getting to see him have a little bit more of a proper training camp, he's not stepping in short notice or he's not having to go up to catch weight or anything. I'm more confident in Kevin Holland this time, and I really just want to see him get a win.
I think if Kevin Holland, it's going to be probably by an early submission, I would say. His ground game is just so good.
I was thinking decision, but
Yeah, it's possible. Who knows? It's always tough to say with Kevin Holland. Like sometimes he comes in there and looks like a absolutely phenomenal, like top 10, top 5 fighter. And then other times he just looks like he didn't train. So we'll have to see. I think this one's really a toss up though.
Moving on to the second fight of the main card, we have number 2 ranked Caitlin Vieira versus number 3 ranked Kayla Harrison. And Kayla Harrison is a major favorite in this fight, being a minus 700 favorite. Is this justified, Lucas?
Minus 700. I don't know about that. That is
one win in the UFC.
Yeah, literally.
One win.
I think I would place odds on her maybe like not catching weight. I mean, it's crazy that she has to cut down to 135. It's so unhealthy for her. And being a minus 700 favorite in your second UFC fight, that's quite a bit of pressure, especially against number two ranked.
Number 2.
Like that's no slouch, right? Caitlin Vieira has very good wins under her resume. To be honest, though, I did still pick Kayla Harrison. You have to.
You have to.
She is better in every aspect of her game. She has better takedowns. She has better striking. She has better defense. It was the easiest pick.
Hot take. Kayla Harrison becomes the Hamzat Chimaev of women's MMA. Always just like on her deathbed because she can't make weight. Oh, I can't cut 40 pounds.
So you also have Kayla
I
Harrison?
have Kayla Harrison.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to go decision or?
No, I think Kayla Harrison will get the finish here.
Yeah, the elevation might actually hurt her.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the conditioning. Like when you cut down that much, you know it affects their conditioning. And when you're at altitude.
But they also go down easier.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't think it'll make a difference, to be honest. Like, I still think Kayla Harrison's going to dominate. I think this could be one of the best good surprises of the night.
Head kick KO from Kayla Harrison.
That would be insane.
So it looks like whoever gets it done on Saturday is going to be the number 1 contender and has a title fight in their future.
Definitely. And I think Raquel Pennington and Juliana Pena are fighting down the card. So maybe we get a face-off as well.
Ooh.
Could be good.
And I think Kayla Harrison, if she can make weight against whoever she's fighting, as long as she doesn't look just terrible this fight because of how much weight she has to cut, she's pretty much a shoo-in to be champ.
Yeah, it's a free pick. Yeah, and to be honest, the champion right now, Pennington, it's not like she's dominant or anything. She has a sus resume.
What's she ranked pound for pound? Like 10 in women's MMA? Like it's just...
Number 1 through 9 is just Zhang Weili over and over again. No, coming... a little bit of the actual statistics. Kayla Harrison's strikes per minute are 7.5 compared to 3 on Caitlin Vieira's side.
7.5, that might be the most in the UFC. Like,
she also has a takedown average of 4.42 compared to Vieira's 1.51. So this is by far the easiest pick. Like the stats all...
Maybe the 700 is deserved.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, next up, we got Jose Aldo, number 10 ranked, plus 130 underdog versus number 11 ranked Mario Batista, minus 160 favorite.
Jose Aldo looked really good at 301.
How does he keep being an underdog? What's going on?
I picked Aldo.
Yeah, same.
Dude, I think Jose Aldo is going to derail Mario Batista's come up.
I can see it. I think Mario Batista's good, but Jose Aldo has so much experience. And yeah, in his last fight, he actually looked extremely sharp.
I was like shocked. I was like, I thought this dude was going to retire after that win. No, he's like, I'm too good for this. I got to run it back.
Yeah, I mean, hey, bantamweight title run, his third time.
Dude, what if we get to a point where bantamweight, it's just like, yeah, these young guys, y'all suck. Just like the old head sitting at the top.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I think last video I actually said that when Raul Rosas Jr. gets a couple more wins, we could see him versus Jose Aldo if Jose Aldo's in the UFC. And that's going to be like another fraud check of a young guy trying to come up, make their way in the division. And then Jose Aldo just completely shuts it down.
I would appreciate that from Jose Aldo.
And Mario Batista, he has a well-rounded game. He can take you down, but Jose Aldo has probably the best takedown defense in the UFC. He defended all of Merab's takedowns, which no one has ever done.
And I think we have to look at it. Mario Batista, very scrambly, very scrappy inside of the ring. And someone as calm and collected as Jose Aldo, is that really going to work against him?
Yeah, he could definitely catch him. Now, the only thing I'm worried about, I did have Aldo by decision because it does seem to me that Aldo just doesn't have the drive to finish them anymore. Like we saw in his last fight, there was against, I can't even remember, Martinez, I think his name was. We saw that there was a bunch of opportunities to finish him. He was hurt. And Jose Aldo just kind of played it safe.
Cruise to his decision.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe it was, he's in his hometown. He doesn't want to beat up on the young guy, which, I mean, fair.
And I think it was another Brazilian he fought.
I think it was, yeah. So I can kind of see that he was taking it easy. And that gives me a little bit of worry because we've seen someone else on this card, right? Kevin Holland let Stephen Thompson get back up to his feet because he's not taking the fight seriously. Stephen Thompson ends up winning. So I don't think that's going to happen to Jose Aldo, but I'm just saying that in the future, if we see him continue his UFC career, I just don't think he has that drive for it anymore.
It may also be hard for Aldo, being this old veteran, like finishing these young guys. Like it probably doesn't feel great. You're like, oh.
Like, are you just doing it for the bag or what?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I think this fight will also be close. That's one thing about this card. Outside of basically Vieira and Harrison, I think that all of these fights are going to be super close and they were actually hard to pick. And the main event, obviously. But
yeah, the matchmakers actually did a good job on this one, and it would have been even better with Evloev or Sterling.
And I think that this also comes down to these like rankings being very close. We're not having these like 15 guys versus 8.
Well, other than Pereira.
Out of Pereira.
Other than the main event. Okay, next up, we got the co-main event. We got the champion, Raquel Pennington, minus 170 favorite, versus number 1 ranked Juliana Pena. We'll see if she shows up, plus 140 underdog.
Going with Pennington, and I really couldn't care less.
I was writing notes for this. I'm like, what do I say?
Yeah, I'm like thinking this over. I'm like, oh, like this is
Look at my notes for like everyone else.
Yeah, and paragraphs.
There's one line for
Pennington by decision. Yeah, I think Pennington will get it done by decision. 5-0 in her last 5 compared to Pena's 3-2 in her last 5.
Actually, Raquel Pennington's on a 6-fight win streak, and Julia Pena is 3-3 in her last couple of fights. So she doesn't have the best record. She had that like fluke win over Nunes, and then Nunes got it back, and it's just been a kind of been up and down. So I don't see her being a reliable pick.
Yeah, I think that we just got to run it back with Pennington. Whoever wins, probably Pennington, will lose to Kayla Harrison. She'll actually bring a little bit of hype back to the UFC, and
that's women's division, baby.
Time for the main event.
Definitely the most anticipated, closely contested in ranking main event. We got Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree Jr. Alex Pereira is coming into this fight as a minus 450, and this is going to grow. A minus 450 favorite, and number 8 ranked Khalil Rountree is a plus 350 underdog.
It's time! Shama!
This is the easiest pick ever. We did the same thing with Sean O'Malley, but I'm telling you right now, Alex Pereira is going to win. It's not going to be close. I have an early round stoppage. I'm not sure if it's going to be round 1 just because if you look at Khalil Rountree's last fight against Smith, he has a lot of movement. He was schmoving across that octagon.
Everyone on our last video was glazing. They're like, oh, Muay Thai Rountree, he's so good. This isn't old Rountree. This is Muay Thai Rountree.
I don't know. Like, yeah, sure, you can improve, but are you going to be improving enough to beat the best striker we've ever seen, maybe?
Yeah, it's Pereira and all of these former UFC fighters on their YouTube channels telling you this could be close. I would put money on Rountree here to get it done. They're just trying to even out these odds a little bit more.
They said the same thing about Jamal Hill. They said the same thing about Yuri. I just can't disregard Alex Pereira's talent and his power any longer. I've gone into all these last fights thinking, Yuri could take him to the ground. He could win. Jamal Hill, we haven't seen him. And I guess Pereira was still new to the division at the time. I think it's time to finally accept that Alex Pereira is even a generational MMA talent now.
Mm-hmm. The difference between Alex Pereira and the rest of light heavyweight is going to be huge after this fight. We are likely going to see Pereira finish another light heavyweight early, and who knows what it'll look like after 308 between Rakic and Ankalaev. Everyone's like, oh, it's Ankalaev. He's going to do it. What if he loses to Rakic? Then what happens then? We'll have seen the guy who lost to Yuri beat the guy that was supposed to be Pereira's number 1 test, and Pereira's beat Yuri twice.
I think Magomed Ankalaev should, in theory, win that fight, but obviously anything can happen. So yeah, whoever wins that matchup should be the number one contender, unless Pereira decides to move up or move down. Which who knows? Pereira's his career is kind of crazy. Like it feels like he could do anything, but I hope he just stays at light heavyweight because we saw that with Conor McGregor. It doesn't allow them to become the goats of their division, right? So I would like to see Pereira just defend, assert dominance, and pretty much Magomed Ankalaev is the last person he has to do that against.
Yeah, and then just keep running it back or have guys from middleweight start coming up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Dricus would want that fight. Izzy would want that fight if he could ever get it, but he does not deserve a title shot.
Yeah, there's some pretty big boys in middleweight.
I want to mention that Alex Pereira has also talked about this camp in Salt Lake City. He's finally healthy again. He was coming off that knee surgery. His knee wasn't 100% after, I think it was the Jan Blachowicz fight in Salt Lake where he was talking about how he had to pop it back into place, right? And it's crazy to me that Pereira hasn't been fighting at 100% capacity, right? And he got to Salt Lake City 3 weeks early instead of 2 weeks early. And the last time he fought in Salt Lake was against Jan Blachowicz, which was probably his weakest performance in the UFC to date. So I'm glad that he's taking this very seriously. I've watched a bunch of interviews. His camp always looks amazing.
Yeah.
He has the best guys around him. So I'm not really worried about this.
All right, moving away from the fight predictions, we're now moving on to our entire card predictions. Lucas, who's going to be your biggest good surprise of the night?
Well, can I say Pereira? I feel like that's cheating, so I'm going to say Jose Aldo.
That's mine. I wrote down Aldo still got it.
Yeah, he does.
I think that Aldo's going to really prove that he truly still has it, and then he's going to be probably around 8 or 9 in bantamweight rankings, and then we see him move up and fight a guy at the close to the top like Cejudo.
Yeah, maybe. Well, Cejudo wants that O'Malley fight so bad. He's down bad for O'Malley. Let's move on. We got our biggest bust of the night. Dylan, who do you got?
I have Khalil Rountree.
I do too. It's just, you have to.
I think Khalil Rountree is awesome. If he wasn't fighting Pereira, I'd probably be rooting for him. But it's very similar to what Dana does to John Jones. You have all of these former UFC fighters on their YouTube channel talking about, Khalil Rountree has a chance, trying to build this narrative. And I obviously get why they're doing it, but it's like, stop it, guys. Get some help.
For our final prediction of the video, we have our Hail Mary or our crazy prediction. For my crazy prediction, I have Pereira successfully shoots and lands a takedown.
Ooh. After he asked Rountree to put some of his purse on the line not to shoot a takedown. A little cheeky of him. I went with Alex Pereira being part of my Hail Mary, but Alex Pereira throws less than 5 strikes.
What? That's insane. That might be the most insane prediction you've had yet.
One punch gone. For me, it's probably going to be a calf kick, and then Roundtree's going to throw, and then Perez will be like, oh, got him. And then he's going to throw a calf kick, throw, boom, left, gone.
I should ask a clarifying question. Are you talking about 5 punches, or are you talking strikes in general?
Strikes.
Okay, so that includes calf kicks.
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to land less than 5 strikes.
Yes.
All right. If that comes true, I will give you my...
Shama!
I'll give you...
Shama! All right, that is going to do it for our UFC 307 predictions. Let us know what your predictions are in the comments, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Subscribe. Shama.